I should have walked out the second I noticed there were no mirrors. Not in the bathroom, not in the hall, not even in the kitchen. But I stayed, because the rent was cheap. And by the time I realized what was watching me, it was already too late. If you've ever ignored a gut feeling and paid the price later, this story will hit hard. Smash that like button, subscribe for more terrifying revenge tales, and strap in, because this isn't just a ghost story. It's about someone who took control and gave fear a taste of its own medicine. It all started like any other move-in day. I'd just signed a lease on a small studio downtown. The building was old, creaky in the bones, like it had stories it didn't want to tell, but I didn't care. Rent was dirt cheap. In this economy, that felt like a win. No real red flags, at least not at first. A little dusty, a weird smell in the air, burnt hair maybe. But that kind of thing fades, or so I thought. I didn't realize what I had walked into until I started unpacking. There weren't any mirrors, not a single one. No mirror above the bathroom sink, none in the closet doors, even the kitchen, which usually has those reflective tiles or backsplashes. Nothing. It was like the apartment had been scrubbed of reflection. But what really made my skin crawl was the evidence. Patches where mirrors clearly used to be, crudely plastered over, sloppy work, jagged lines, uneven texture, like someone had yanked the glass out in a hurry, like they were terrified. Still, I brushed it off. Maybe the last tenant just didn't like mirrors, I told myself. Maybe they had trauma. Maybe they were just weird. I didn't want to judge. So I hung up a small mirror I'd brought from my old place. Just a round, frameless one, barely bigger than my face. I stuck it above the bathroom sink, turned off the lights, and went to bed. That night, at exactly 3:22 a.m., I woke up. Not from a noise, not from a nightmare. I just felt awake. My body wouldn't move. My chest felt like it was being crushed under 1,000 tiny fingers. Sleep paralysis, maybe. But then I heard it. Breathing. Low, wet, raspy breathing. Like someone was drowning in their own lungs. It was coming from the bathroom. I could see the doorway from my bed. Nothing was moving. The lights were still off. But the breathing didn't stop. Then came the scraping, like fingernails dragging across glass. When I finally sat up, when my body let me move again, I grabbed the flashlight. The mirror was gone. Gone. Not broken. Not on the floor. Just not there. Like it had never existed. I checked everywhere. Trash, hallway, even under the sink. Nothing. So I called the landlord, asked if maintenance had come by. He laughed. Bathroom mirror? Yeah, you don't want that. Best leave the walls blank. Trust me. Then he hung up. No apology, no explanation. Just a casual brush-off. Like this wasn't his first rodeo. That night I left the bathroom light on. Slept with the TV playing static just to drown out the silence. Didn't help. At 3:22 a.m., I woke up again. The exact same way. But this time I heard something else. A whisper. My name. It didn't come from the doorway. It came from inside the bathroom. I grabbed the flashlight, heart pounding so hard it echoed in my skull. Walked in slowly. Nothing. But the patch where the mirror had been? It was wet, not leaking, not damp. Just like someone had breathed on it, like something had pressed its face there. I didn't sleep much after that. This wasn't just a haunted apartment, it was a trap. Every night, the same pattern. 3:22 a.m. Wake up, scraping, breathing. Sometimes a low, wet laugh, like someone choking on joy. Once, I swear, I saw a flash of eyes in the mirror spot, too high, too wide, watching. So I tried something new. I taped another mirror, just a small one, inside a bathroom cabinet. Closed it during the day. Figured maybe if I controlled where the reflection went, I could control what was using it. That night, I opened the cabinet. At first, it was just me. But something was off. My reflection didn't move. Its mouth stayed still as mine whispered, "Is anyone there?" Its eyes blinked, out of sync with mine. Then it smiled, a cracked, too wide grin. Too many teeth, lips stretching like wet paper. I slammed the cabinet shut, and behind the wall, it shrieked, like it had been caught. I smashed the mirror the next morning, didn't even use a towel, just bare hands, bleeding, swept the pieces up and dumped them in the trash chute like they were nuclear waste. But the thing wasn't done with me. Later that day, I looked out the window. Someone was standing across the street, top floor, behind a dirty pane of glass, no lights on, just watching. They didn't move for over an hour. Then, when I looked again, they were holding something up to the glass. A mirror, pointed directly at me. I didn't sleep that night, didn't even pack. I left the next morning, threw the keys on the counter and ran. The landlord didn't look surprised. "Lasted longer than most," he muttered. Then he shut the door behind me. No refund, no apology. Just silence. I've been crashing on a friend's couch since. I told him a bit, left out the mirror stuff, didn't want him thinking I'd lost it. But last night, something happened. I was brushing my teeth. Lights on. Door open. Everything normal. Then the mirror above his sink fogged up. And slowly, painfully, letters began to appear. "Let me finish watching you." That was the last straw. I wasn't going to be hunted by a mirror-dwelling freak. I wasn't going to live in fear. I started researching. Old building permits, past tenants, even folklore. Turns out, decades ago, the building was a mental institution. The floor I lived on? It housed patients considered too violent for general population. One in particular, a man who believed reflections were alive, that they watched us and waited. He smashed every mirror he could find before hanging himself in a room full of shattered glass. Guess which room I moved into? So, I made a choice. I went back, not to stay, but to end it. I bought a massive mirror, floor to ceiling, industrial glue. I bolted it right onto the patched wall, where all this started. Then I stood in front of it and dared it to come out. At 3:22 a.m., it did. The same face, the same teeth. But this time, I didn't flinch. I stared back. "You want to watch me?" I whispered. "Then watch this." And I lit a match. I'd soaked the floor in lighter fluid. The glass screamed as it cracked. I walked out as the fire spread. That building burned to the ground. Some people think ghosts are tied to objects, but I think this one was tied to fear. And once I stopped feeding it, it couldn't survive. Some monsters live in the mirror, but the moment you stop being afraid of your reflection, they lose their power. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and share it with someone who sleeps with the lights on. And tell us in the comments, what's the creepiest thing you've ever seen in a mirror? Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying, true-sounding revenge stories. Until next time, keep your eyes open. And maybe, avoid looking too long at your reflection.